This podcast is brought to you by the Texas Hill Country River region in Uvalde County. What's super unique about this area is that the Frio, Nueces, and Sabinal rivers are all located in the same county. It's like the hill country that you know and love, just more rural, so you're surrounded with wildlife, and life just kind of slows down out here, so you can really enjoy the simple pleasures like camping, fishing, and just enjoying the company of the people that you love.
For more information, go to visit UvaldeCounty.com. Buenos dias, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the In Between podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Leah.
This will be our last episode of the year for 2022.
Of our first season. This will wrap up season 1 of the In Between podcast.
Yay!
We did it.
Yay!
We were consistent.
Yeah, so we, for the most part, yeah. I mean, we could be a little bit better with our the drop dates, but as far as every week, we've managed to drop one.
Yeah,
every week since we started.
I'm proud of us because most podcasts last like a few episodes.
I read a stat one day that this was many months ago, but most podcasts only release like 7 episodes, and then they don't do any more than that. So, or something to that effect. But yeah, no, we think we have 20.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah. So today is just the two of us. We don't have any guests today since we're kind of wrapping up our first season of the podcast. And we're just going to chat about that.
Yeah. Well, we have 20, but when this one comes out, it'll be 21.
Oh,
21 for the year. So, yeah. So, Thanksgiving's over with. Got that out of the way. And then we did the Reindeer Run this past weekend.
Yeah.
Which was was very fun. I had some family come in, and you didn't have any family come in, did you?
Just your family. Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was a success for the first 5K being put on by Andy's. And they already have the second one in the works. It's going to be the Holy Guacamole Cook-Off. May Cinco de Mayo of 2023. So y'all look out for that. And we will definitely be in it, I think. We might have a complicated schedule, but if it works out, we plan to make the run. So hope to see y'all there in May of 2023 for the Holy Guacamole 5K. And then now Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming.
It's coming.
Can you believe it?
Was that a winter's coming reference? Yeah. So we've been binging Game of Thrones because I've never seen it ever. And that's what we've been watching. Even though he's already seen it, I've never seen it. So we've been watching Game of Thrones. So that was, I guess, an old reference to everyone else. But to me, it's a new reference since I just started watching.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
A little late.
Better than, in my opinion, House of Dragons. So. Yeah. But anyways, we digress. Yeah, so Christmas is coming and we'll be taking off for the holidays and hope to be starting back up in the following year, next year. So this was just kind of we wanted to kind of recap. We had this year was a little weird, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bizarre way to release a podcast because we had all these episodes that we recorded in 2020, and then we took this long break and then never released them, but we had them, figured out our internal structure, and started recording new episodes. So I think that was kind of weird how we would go back and forth with an old episode, a new episode, an old episode, a new episode. But I think it worked, and I think a lot of those old episodes were too good to not release. And I think what's been really cool for me is listening to those old conversations and then seeing where people are now. Like we were talking to Annabelle, the artist, graphics and grain, and talking about how like, oh my gosh, you reached, I think it was like 10,000 followers on Instagram. And that's so incredible. She's like over 100,000 now. And it is all over the world and making art and having collaborations with Anthropology and all these other brands. And it's just so exciting to see where she was then and where she is now. And the same thing, I mean, with all of our guests, Lily's bikinis and how her brand and her business has just grown and she's doing so well. And she's launched, I think it was her second collection of bikinis. And um, I'm on social media and you're not. And so I'm seeing them a lot more, but I know I always show you, but I'm just constantly seeing all these people that we talked to and interviewed. And um, Taylor, the wild man, is like MMA fighting.
That's
Like,
what he wanted. That's what he said he wanted to do.
yeah, it's so cool. It is,
yeah.
it's just so cool to see like the people on our podcast say, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. This is what's next for me. This is what I want. And then like, here they are.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
Yeah, definitely. And several, I think Taylor was one of them, but some of our other guests also said they are wanting to start a podcast. So I'm really looking forward to them starting a podcast because I think they would all be good podcasting host or podcasters, whatever. What do you call them? What do you call someone who does a podcast?
A podcast person.
A podcaster.
Podcaster. A talker.
Yeah, so I really hope that they pull through with that as well. So, I think Noah, Danielle, and Taylor were the three that I could think of had mentioned that they were had already started or had an idea to do one. So, yeah. So,
I have a question. What has been... You don't know this question. I'll just bring it on you.
Okay.
What has been one of your favorite moments of the season of our podcast?
For this year or just all the
season.
episodes that we've
released?
Any
episode we've released or any moment?
Oh, wait, before we get to that, I was going to add to what you were saying about how we had those podcasts from 2020. So yes, if you're listening to this and or watching this, you may have listened to some podcasts that were recorded in 2020. So conversations may have revolved around COVID. So that's why, because they were recorded in 2020. And so that's what I was going to add. So my favorite thing about
favorite moment
for the podcast. It's a good question.
I got you off guard. I'll go first.
Okay.
I have one.
Okay, tell us yours.
One of my favorite things that happened was while we were recording with Noah, and when Luna got fussy and we pulled her out from under the table, and Noah like freaked out and was like, "There's a baby under the table. You've had a baby under the table this whole time." And she had no idea that we had Luna down there, and we had to like completely stop whatever we were talking about because she was so caught off guard that we had Luna under the table. And that was a fun and funny moment. I really liked that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's going to be hard to top that one. That was funny. She was genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
And just shocked that I was able to do that. Pull a baby up from under the table. She didn't know I had special powers. Yeah, I don't know. There's been so many people and moments, and well, I know one that are not going to release. We did a fake podcast with my nephew. He was very happy about the fact that we were doing a podcast, and he's a big...
How old is he, first of all? Start with that.
I think he's, gosh,
you don't know exactly. Like he's like
probably 10,
around that age.
Yeah.
Like he's
no older
young.
than 11 years old. Super huge into archaeology and paleontology. And we did a mock podcast with him, and he got to put on the headphones and we did a recording, but it's nothing official. It was very unofficial. and he got to experience it, and we did a little podcast, and he enjoyed it, and we everyone enjoyed it. It was pretty funny hearing him talk. He was a natural with talking.
You don't
He
think we could release it as like a bonus for funsies? Just like
yeah,
bonus episode?
maybe if we get enough comments, maybe we will.
Release Luke's podcast.
He has a
Luke will be commenting like, release my podcast.
He's his name is Luke, and he's a very interesting character.
Super smart kid.
He knows a lot about the randomest stuff on with archaeology. So that's what he wants to do. And what did he tell you? He wanted to go where to do what job?
I don't know. Somewhere in Canada. Because there's a lot of dinosaurs up there, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Like, wow, that's real far to go for dinosaurs. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun watching y'all. I don't know what y'all talked about because I wasn't listening, but I was taking pictures and just fun little videos of y'all. That was a fun one.
So I guess since that's the freshest moment in my mind, that's the one that comes to mind.
I have another question.
Sure, shoot away.
So what are you most excited for next season when we launch season 2? And we've started recording some episodes, but we don't have them all recorded. But what are you looking forward to for that?
Well, we have a lot of potential guests that I would love to get on the podcast. So that's going to be exciting. And I can't wait to have some of the guests that we've had previously as a guest again. So I'm excited about the potential of that happening, and just the people that we have coming up. And so I'm just excited about that. So I really can't wait. And I'm also excited about the ones that we already have recorded. So we have some podcasts already recorded for next season or next year. They were pretty good. So I can't wait to release those as well. What about you?
I think I'm looking forward to multiple things. One thing is for us to continue to get better at this. Hopefully, we should be growing and getting better.
Is that what you're excited about?
One of the things, yes.
About getting better.
Yeah, to grow, to learn, to get better at doing this and interviewing people, talking to people. So I'm excited about that. And then I am also really looking forward to interviewing. I have a list of some local people that I really want to interview. And by local, I mean Utopia, Uvalde, Lakey, this not just Concan, but some locals that I'm really looking forward to interviewing. Some of them don't know it yet, but I'm going to be asking them.
We're coming.
We're coming for you. But I really think there's some people that have some really interesting things to share and some really valuable knowledge too, just from the fields that they're in or their interest. And I really hope that I can convince them to come and talk to us.
There certainly are some interesting people out here. It's just hopefully we can get them on.
Yeah.
Because
for
it'd be great to if they can share their experiences and their expertise, stories that they may have.
I have another thing that I'm excited about, or I guess maybe hopeful for.
The podcast?
Yeah. For next season is to start to get more feedback on what people want to hear or who they want us to interview, and people reaching out to us and that engagement. I'm hopeful that we'll get more of that. People asked us to talk about having a business and having a baby, and so we did. And some of the feedback we got on that episode was really interesting for me to hear. And so I'm looking forward to that, just more engagement with our listeners, and hopefully us, continuing to give the people what they want.
Here's another thing that I'm also excited about: the possibility of someone next year listening to either something we've recorded this season or next, and it impacts them, or they find it very helpful, maybe moves them to doing the things that they've been wanting to do. Um, so yeah, I'm excited of the possibility of that happening next year, because that's always a great story to hear. And kind of had one this year. Someone ended up buying a RV park, and I told him listen to the Mike and Melissa Cummins podcast, because they kind of shed some light into what it was like for them running an RV park campground. So I'm really excited to hear and hear more of that. So I think that'll be great. If we can even just get one, that I would be happy about that.
Yeah. Well, I think, we get excited, sharing or hearing about people's hopes and dreams and the things that they're interested in, or what they're trying to achieve. And then once we hear somebody talk about that, we're like, oh, we want to interview you for our podcast. Like, let's share your vision and your story. And people's stories are important. And, that's all we do here is just share people's stories and yeah,
To the best of our ability.
to the best of our abilities. And we're trying to get better.
Yeah. Hopefully give it a couple more years. we might be a little more polished.
How many do you know what they say about you have to have however many hours of doing something to
I
become,
think
is
it's
it
like 10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
We definitely do not
So
have
we're
10,000.
probably like at maybe 15 hours with the time.
Yeah, we have a long way to go before we become the experts. We need 10,000 more episodes. Is that right?
Yeah.
About?
Yeah, at least. So, or just start recording longer episodes. So we can do like Joe Rogan does and have 3 or 4 hour podcasts, 5-hour podcasts.
I could not survive
maybe
that.
like a Dan Carlin hardcore history podcast, and 5.5 hours long.
I don't think Luna could survive that. I know I couldn't. Luna she already is like, I don't want to give you an hour. But
I'm not afraid of going longer than an hour, but we really try to keep ours like under an hour. But we also don't want to rush the podcast. So I think we've had one that went a little over an hour. But we try to keep them between like 30, 45 minutes, I guess. That's kind of the average. Or 50 minutes. But I'm not opposed to doing it longer. It just, as long as Luna's okay with it, we just have to check with her.
yeah.
And then, as long as we're not being, we're taking into account the time of the guests, and we're not taking up any other time. So that's the other thing. But yeah, so some exciting things. And next year to get back from break, we will hit the ground running.
Yep. We're aiming for January 16th to launch season 2 is what we're shooting for. And yay. Season 2 is coming.
Yeah. And we just appreciate everyone supporting, and everyone that has supported us, and everyone who will support us in the future and continue to support us by listening. Wherever you listen to podcasts or watching on YouTube, please rate our podcast. That really helps. If you're watching on YouTube, just give us a thumbs up and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And feel free to shoot us some questions in the YouTube comments. I don't know that there's that option with podcast platforms, but
I don't think so. Just a review.
I guess if you wanted to reach out any other ways, and you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening to it on a podcast, you can always shoot us a DM or email us regarding the podcast, or questions you may have, or things that you may want us to talk about. So yeah, we are always open and willing to hear what you have to say. Questions you may have. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Is there anything else that you want to add
That
to this short podcast?
is all that I wanted to add. I just wanted to kind of recap our season 1 and talk about what I'm excited for and what we're excited for and hopeful for season 2. And
Well, I'm very proud of you for hanging on and doing the podcast this long with, even though you're a little bit handicapped.
because of Luna?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going with this? What do you mean?
It's always a little, I don't know if it's you or who's handicapped or me, because who becomes handicapped whenever she cries or starts getting fussy and then you have to go and feed her. Because then when you get up and leave, then I'm like, oh, I'm by myself.
I lost my co-pilot.
That's always difficult. It's been a little bit challenging for me to navigate that part. But I'm really trying my best to figure it out and keep it going. And I think it's worked out.
And I think, well, one thing I want to add about that before we go is, we are very intentional. I don't know if we've really ever said this before, maybe in the beginning, but we're very intentional about doing our podcast with Luna because that's our life. And we always have her. She goes everywhere with us. And when we do our podcast, we try our best to put her down for a nap if possible. That doesn't always happen because babies do what they want to do a lot of times. Or we put her down and she wakes up and then she wants to eat. And we're very intentional about that. We don't try to hide it. We don't try to edit it out. She's in the background playing with her toys right now. Sometimes she's fussing, sometimes she's crying. And that, that's our life. That's kind of like the transparency of our life right now. And having a business and doing a podcast and having a baby and not trying to like compartmentalize all those things. And at least that's not how we live our lives. And so that's for us very intentional because I think a lot of times people will say, oh, I can't do that because I have kids, or I'll do this when ... whatever that thing may be, even if it has nothing to do with kids. And if we waited until Luna, was older, she could be like 15 and we would still be like, oh, well, we can't do the podcast until she is, reaches this milestone.
21.
Until she's 21, and that's just very intentional. Our life is messy and our business is messy and we're in the weeds of it all. And just like with this podcast. So when you hear her cry in the background, it's just, that's real life. That's our life. And, we hope that others will just live their lives and not let, anything hold them back from the things that they're trying to do.
Yes. Amen.
What do you have to say, Luna? She said, ooh, ooh.
She's definitely trying to talk. That's good. Yeah. We do try to do that. And
I mean, we're not trying to get her to scream. Like that's not the goal. But she's here. She's part of our podcast.
She's here. She's not going anywhere, and she will continue to grow with us, and she would continue to grow and grow with us as we continue to grow this podcast. And yeah, so we hope that y'all enjoy it.
And we wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Is this going to come out before Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And Happy Holidays.
And hopefully...
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Hopefully the holidays don't bring you down. And we will see y'all next year.
Yeah, I think so. I was just trying to see how to say Merry Christmas in different languages.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. One Natale Krasium Peresit Gadjul Joye Nul.
Wow.
That's French.
Good job.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This is last episode 2022. We wish y'all the very best during the holidays, and we will see y'all next year. So, hasta luego.
Bye.